we get into these spaces where guilt and shame and burden keep us from experiencing the full life that Jesus promises, and instead of living into the full life, we start to inhabit shadows. And when we inhabit these shadows, like we echo what Jesus said, the thief came to kill, steal, and destroy. Remember, he's not talking about the devil right there. In direct context of what Jesus is talking about, it's all the weight and the heaviness that we put on each other. In particular, this was about religious tradition. We can attribute this same identity to Satan, who does want to destroy you. Those things are said in other passages, but when you look at the thief passage, this thing that comes to take life from you, to sap it from you, it really gets down to what Jesus is arguing against. And in that moment, it's the Pharisees. And all the extra law they had added onto the people that kept them from experiencing God, that increased guilt, shame, and burden, and they never saw what life with Jesus could look like. The tension with lies that happen when we start to believe those kinds of things, lies don't stay in your head, they move into your habits. It would be one thing, like if I had a lie I believed about myself and could just kind of set it here, like, you know, like the Daffy Duck, Donald Duck cartoons where they had two things on the shoulder. Like if the lie could just stay here and just whisper, that's one thing. But eventually, the lie will move into my habits. And that creates a problem. So these lies move into my habits, and what I believe in secret eventually becomes how I live in public. And that is not the abundant life. So the shadows that we can inhabit: pride. I protect myself by staying self-sufficient. I'm not able to move past sin, guilt, or shame, guilt, and burden. So pride becomes one of these echo patterns or these shadows that I give my life to. Indifference. I survive by not feeling too much. I just won't care. Indifference. Probably the most opposite word towards love in all of human language. We often think love and hate are the opposites of coin. No, love and hate both care, right? Hate doesn't feel like care, but hate cares about something. Indifference cares about nothing. I survive by not feeling too much. Striving, I grasp for control because surrender feels like losing. Yet Jesus says the one who loses his life for my sake will gain everything. Jesus says, unless you deny yourself, you can't be my disciple. And we will work and we will strive because anything else feels like losing. If I don't deserve it, if I can't earn it, I can't receive it. And we live in the shadow. Restlessness. I keep moving because stillness exposes emptiness. I was talking with a guy the other day, and he's like, man, I hate slowing down. Why? Because when I slow down, I got to face everything. They did a study on men who used to fall asleep in church. And they found out it wasn't because the sermon was boring. The psychology behind it was the first time in a given week that a man was able to slow his body and brain down enough. The first time he was still in 6 days was sitting in church, and he would doze off in the middle of the service. This is almost the opposite. We add more, we do more, we add more, we do more, we add more, we do more, because if I get still long enough, it may expose maybe a lot of doubt. I really don't believe that Jesus is who he said he was. It exposes the guilt. It exposes the shame. And so we're restless. We just keep moving. Judgment. I use criticism to keep others at a safe distance, including God and his church. If I can criticize it enough, I can stay at a safe distance, and that person or that thing can't hurt me. So I'm going to use my critical words, my judgment, to keep people or things away, including things that are good for me. Judgment. Duplicity. I show different versions of myself to different people. Jesus calls us to single-mindedness. If we were to best translate the word hypocrite from the ancient language, the best translation to get would be double-mindedness. I think one way and I think another, and it depends on who I present it to, right? Like I was telling someone the other day, I said the easiest thing to do, this is a young leader who wants to be in ministry. I said the easiest thing to do if you really want to succeed in ministry is be the same person on Sunday that you are on Tuesday, right? It will rub people the wrong way sometimes because they don't like your Tuesday self. It just happens. But if you try to be someone different on Sunday than you are on Tuesday, you will exhaust yourself every single time. And you'll be good for nothing. Just be the same person. Don't be double-minded. That's true for any of us, right? Not just the people who are on the platform, but for any of us who call Jesus King. That's true for us. Be the same person you are on Sunday that you are on Tuesday. And if you're a rotten person on Tuesday, well, we got some work to do. But that's part of grace and the shaping of what Jesus is doing. Can I enter into that life and find something more? Duplicity. Peacekeeping. This one gets tricky, okay? Peacekeeping. It sounds good, but I avoid conflict at all cost of truth, goodness, and righteousness. It's easier for me to keep the peace. I don't want to stir the pot, so I'm going to keep the peace even though I am going to exchange goodness, truth, and righteousness for the payment of peace. We're not actually living in the truth, goodness, and righteousness. We're just going to keep everybody quiet. Happened during George Floyd. I saw it all over the place. Pray for peace. What we really meant was pray for quiet. I saw it 3 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. Pray for peace. And what we really mean is quiet. Just keep everybody calm. We don't want to rattle the cages and shake people up. Just not do this. It makes me uncomfortable. And for the sake of quiet, we sacrifice truth, goodness, and righteousness. Peacekeeping. Withdrawal, I disappear before I can be rejected. Rather than living into the sheepfold, I withdraw and hide in the wilderness. I disappear before I can be rejected, even though Jesus has already fully accepted me, just as I am. But I withdraw. And when we come into those things, we lose life. They are shadows that we inhabit, mostly driven by shame, guilt, and burden, and that keep us from life. But Jesus gives life. He says it so plainly, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. He would echo it a little bit later, and whom the Son has set free is free indeed. Soulignment is about living into the life that Jesus came to give.